looking good on the interstate. Also checking in on the north side. 465 at Ditch Road running smoothly. Ray?
Thanks, Laura. I want to get you the very latest now on what we have learned about the deadly attacks in Southern California this morning. The mass shooting in San Bernardino, now the deadliest since 2012, when 26 people were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School. This morning, at least 14 people are dead, 17 more hurt in the attack. And Polo Sandoval has the latest now as police try to figure out a motive.
We have not ruled out terrorism.
The investigation into yesterday's attack at the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino, California still begs more questions than police have answers, with law enforcement searching for a motive behind the shooting. The two assailants, identified as 28-year-old Saeed Farouk and 27-year-old Tashfeen Malik, are dead following a chase and shootout with police. Farouk was an employee of the center working as a health department specialist and had attended the holiday party where the attack happened. He's said to have left the party angry and returned with Malik shortly after, both wearing tactical gear and carrying assault rifles, pistols, and explosives. Farouk's brother-in-law spoke out in the hours after the shooting, expressing shock about the attack and offering condolences for the victims.
Why would he do something like this? I have absolutely no idea. I'm in shock myself.
The chase started here, Farouk's townhome in Redlands near the attack site. It ended in a hail of bullets back in San Bernardino.
It's heartbreaking to see another mass shooting in this great country. In my beautiful state, innocent people, children, looks like a war zone. And it's not enough to keep lamenting these things. We have to take action.
And we do have some information about the suspects here. Saeed Farouk was an employee at the Social Service Center for 5 years. The second person involved is Tashfeen Malik. A co-worker says that the two were married. They married during a trip to Saudi Arabia, and the couple reportedly dropped off their 6-month-old daughter at her grandmother's earlier in the day, apparently telling them that they had a doctor's appointment. Family members did try to reach out to the couple after the shooting, worried for their safety, and only learned later that they were not the victims, but instead the suspects.
And we're hearing reaction from people who were inside the building when it all happened, also from those with family members inside.
We had to come out with our hands up and be escorted across the street to the golf course and stood there for hours, witnessing clothing of deceased ones in the street, people crying, co-workers crying, us wanting to get to our children, our families, and our loved ones.
She said the guy came in next to her office and I guess started shooting. They locked themselves in her office. They seen bodies on the floor.
I'm in a tiny room with a bunch of people. We're freaking out. Please pray for us.
She's so scared. She's kept saying, I'm so scared right now.
Again, police still searching for why this couple opened fire in the building.
We have to teach people in the case of an urban attack of some type to shelter in place, how to do that, how to look for places in the workplace that's safe for you to shelter until help arrives.
IMPD Police Chief Rick Height there weighing in after the country's latest mass shooting. He stressed the importance of knowing what to do if we find ourselves in a frightening situation like what we saw unfold in California.
And we're wanting now to elaborate on that a little bit more this morning. Jay Dotson is here with us, and he's a disaster preparedness expert, and you have some specifics on what we need to do. My question for you, though, is now the FBI in LA saying that they're making adjustments to their investigation to determine if this is terrorism. We know that there were long guns, body armor, IED devices, which is a little bit different than what we've heard in the past where maybe someone comes in with a long gun only. Do we prepare differently in a situation like this, or is it all the same?
Some of the preparedness can overlap, but obviously this is much different than most cases. It's hard for me to believe that the specific target that they had yesterday was that they had all this equipment planned out for that specific target. We understand that there's a good possibility he was a disgruntled employee. Well, even saying that, having body armor, having assault rifles, things like that, IEDs is not normal behavior for the average person. So my indication, my belief is that they had probably a larger target in mind to hit later on, which would also tell me why they probably escaped, and they were probably planning on attacking someone else later on down the road.
And Jay, Ange mentioned it, every situation is different, obviously, and chaos is unfolding at any given moment. But we hear a lot about shelter in place. You heard that from Chief Height.
Yes.
Other situations we hear, fight for your life, run, do whatever you have to do to stay safe. When do you know what is the right situation in each scenario?
Well, in all reality, if a person's able as a potential victim to escape, then that's a great idea. But we really need to think in terms of how this threat is emerging and how dedicated the folks are that are doing this. And that sheltering in place probably is a safer response. And one of the things that we can train our families, our friends, but employees, businesses can also create what we would call a safe zone. You can implement safe zones, you can identify areas within a building where people could go, lock the door, hide, and be safer.
In this case, we heard from women who had been taking video inside this building saying, we thought this was one of our training exercises because they do training, I think they said monthly. Is that something that you're seeing more of, that all kinds of places of employment, employers are doing this and that we should be? I mean, we've never done that here, but people need to be doing that in their businesses on a daily or monthly basis?
Absolutely. Here's a good comparison. Most businesses train very well for fires. We have fire drills, and you think in terms in the past 15 years, how many people in the United States have died because of fires in business? Compare that to how many people have died in the United States because of acts of violence, and it's staggeringly more people have died because of acts of violence. And continue to prepare for fires, but think in terms of doing drills and exercises for an act of violence as well.
Where do you go? Like in your building, is that you should have that plan? Like, here's the safe zone. Here's a place where you can put desks in front of doors.
Absolutely.
That sort of thing?
Absolutely. And you identify doors that lock, they're secure, that don't have windows in them, and then identify areas that you could block off as well.
Jay Dotson, as always, we appreciate your insight. Hate to have these sorts of circumstances, but we're focused on what we can do proactively. So appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you would like to learn more about safety in specific emergency situations or Jay's work, we link you to his website by going to ours at fox59.com/links. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Right, time now is 7:09. Thousands of Hoosiers come together with one message. They say, not in my backyard.
A new proposal route I-69 through their community. More reaction from Mooresville in the second meeting that you can attend tonight.
And new overnight, Olympic athlete Oscar Pistorius now convicted of murdering his girlfriend. What the change in charges means for his sentence.
And sunrise 40 minutes from now should be a bright start. You can actually see it on our tower cam this morning. 24 to 28, that's the temperature range this morning, but the wind chills make it feel like the upper teens. So another frosty start to the day. We'll talk about a warming trend coming up.